so we're in perfect alignment with them. And for that, I want to introduce Robin Hurdle, who's the president and CEO of the Maddox Foundation, to tell you something exciting and the reason that we're here today. Robin?
My husband will fuss if I don't use this mic properly. Well, thank you all for being here today. I guess I'm going to go a little further than 26 years ago and share my story with you. The first time I went to a retirement community, it was also the first time I learned about Christian service. And my elementary school Sunday school teacher, Ms. Jane Beanister, took our Sunday school class once a month, every month, to volunteer and work at the McKendree Manor retirement community in Middle Tennessee. And it really changed my life. I was probably 12 when I first started going there, and I went there every month until after I graduated from high school. And after I went away to college, I came back and visited the lady who still lived there that I just loved. Miss Creasman was her name. And so that was the beginning. And then flash forward many years later, and I was teaching a Sunday school class, and I told the girls in my Sunday school class that we were going to continue with that same tradition of Christian service, and we were going to go over to Wesley Meadows. And so I brought my Sunday school class over once a month for maybe 3 years, and we volunteered over here visiting and talking and doing manicures, and it was just a blessing for them as well. Glenda Gurley was one of my students, and she remembers well coming over here and doing volunteer work with you all. At some point when I went to work for Dan and Margaret Maddox, Mr. Maddox, he really believed in the retirement community, and he invested heavily in retirement communities. And through that walk, he put me on the board of American Retirement Corporation, which was the company that managed all of those entities. And through that, I met a guy named Bob Rosskamp, and he really had a passion for it. And his parents lived in a retirement community, and his younger brother was handicapped. And so he set about developing a facility that would serve all of their needs, and that it would treat them with as much love and care as you would treat your brother or your mother who lived. My mom lives in my home, and I'm very grateful for that, but that's not the case for everyone. And so Bob designed a plan, a program that would work and meet those needs. Well, when I first heard about this expansion here, Joe Frank Lauderdale came to my office and told me about it, and I was really intrigued and excited about it because I do think it's something that our community needs. And I did some homework on it, on what the needs were in this community and how far along you all were in your campaign process. And it seemed like it was moving pretty slowly. And Joe Frank was very patient with me. He came over and met with me repeatedly as I asked numerous questions. And eventually he came and brought Tom Pittman with him. And Tom was going to help twist my arm a little bit. And neither one of them realized what my background and passion was for the retirement communities. And so when Tom came and brought Steve, and I could see how passionate he was and his total commitment to it, I was just really excited. And so my board has gotten behind this, and we're all excited to be part of it. And we're here today to announce that the Maddox Foundation is going to issue a matching grant of $1 million, a dollar-for-dollar match. Let's make it happen. And $500,000 will go to the building fund, and $500,000 will go to an endowment to make sure that the home is cared for in the future, for future care and maintenance. Because oftentimes we build something like a playground that then doesn't get cared for, and it falls apart over the next 15 years, and then nobody has the money to put it together. Well, with the endowment funds, we will have a place. We will be able to replace the roof when it needs it, or the landscaping when it needs it. So we won't be raising money for that again. And so I just thank you all so much for having such a great vision. And allowing me to be part of it. And I have to say that a very dear friend of mine came to me to tell me about her situation with finding a place for her mom who needed the memory care, and she was suffering from forgetfulness, and my friend had nowhere for her mom to be. And so that was really what pushed me over the edge to push my board to make that call. And let's invest the $1 million, because there's nothing that deserves that investment more than our seniors, than our elders. So thank you very much for your time.
Okay, really I've been designated as having the easy part today, and that's accepting this pledge from Robin. And Lee is going to come on next, and he's going to be in charge of raising the money to match that. So, first of all, thank y'all for being here today. It's a great day. It's a monumental day for us. We've been, I want to thank Lee and Matt. Matt couldn't be here today. The members of the steering committee, Western Meadows Board, and the staff for all the hard work they've done for now pretty much over 2 years. I guess we've kind of been working with this. I remember back in the spring of 2017 when Steve and Alan kind of showed up at a meeting and kind of popped this idea to us, like, would y'all be interested in trying to raise some funds for a greenhouse? And we kind of talked about it. They sent Derek Alley came to us, did a good presentation with us, and Derek was hired to kind of get us started, put everything together. We did set the goal of $1.5 million at that time, and we voted as a board 100% to carry forward with the project. And of course, there's three things I guess we had to answer. Was there a need? Did we have a plan? And could we get other people to buy in on this idea we had? So, I don't think there's a single person in this room that believes we don't have a need, because there is a need. And you could probably walk the streets of Hernandez and find anybody to tell you there's not a need for what we're doing. We already had a plan. Medical Senior Services pretty well pioneered, if I can use the word pioneered, the greenhouse concept. So, it's something we did not have to invent. Pretty much the drawings were already ready. I deal with the drawings. And then the third thing was to find people that believed in the same thing we believed in, that would be able to contribute to what we needed, the amount of money we needed. And so we formed a steering committee from the board. We would talk to people, be on the steering committee that were on the committee 24 years ago. They even volunteered again, so they were really enthusiastic about it, volunteering 2 times, be on the board. I remember our first steering committee, Matt Lipscomb was there. Matt made kind of a good pep talk for us, encouraged us to be dedicated to what we're doing and be positive about what we're doing as we're raising funds. Of course, it took a lot of material to get going. We formed an action statement that we needed, timelines and goals. We had presentations each month. Developed a contact list, then broke that contact list into down to personal contacts with people on that list. Of course, we had pledge cards and mail outs. We formed a lot of questions and answers. There were questions that we thought people would ask us. We had to kind of be thinking about it as a group. What kind of answers would we give to people when they asked us certain questions? And so in September 2017, we moved forward into our campaign. Matt Lipscomb was gracious enough to invite us to his home as kind of a kickoff event. I think I'm gonna credit Jenny and Ginger Gottrell, and that's the first, I guess, actual event that was put together in their tea that they had. Of course, we had Dean Nicholson, Barbara Jepson, Cheryl Warden, and many others put together events, including the West Meadow staff and special breakfasts that we had. But you know, that's yesterday, and today's a brand new day. Today we're moving forward with the, I guess, the final vision of what we are going to be able to do. So, Robin, on behalf of the Board of Directors, Steering Committee, the staff, and I'm going to say to the future residents who will enjoy this greenhouse, which I understand will have a new name after probably today, we'll accept this challenge that you've given us, and we're going to raise the money.
I'm Lee Ashcraft. I have with me my daughter Ruth Ashcraft Monday. She wrote a poem last year, and it was actually published in the MSS magazine that came out last fall. Subsequently, she has written another one. I'll ask her to read that second one as we conclude my part in this. First of all, I want to say thank you to Robin and certainly to all of the Maddox Foundation Board. I appreciate your presence today, and thank you very much for your generous contribution in making this possible to proceed on and make this a reality. By the grace of God and with your help and with the contributions of many, the dream of this greenhouse home for dementia care is about to become a reality. We would love to actually break ground and begin construction in the spring if everything can come together well. As Steve and others have mentioned, the addition of a greenhouse home, in the video Steve mentioned, it's not only a wonderful thing for the residents, but also for the community, and it speaks well for what the community thinks of it itself.